going on, Jerome's? Your Minnesota Vikings are on a 3-game winning streak, are on the verge of getting Justin friggin' Jefferson, the best non-quarterback in the league, back in the lineup, and are 4-4, wanting some more. But the loss of Kirkywed Jerome Ezekiel Cousins to the reported and apparent Achilles tear is just really sucks. Just really sucks, man. And I know, trade for Kyler, trade for sign Tom Brady. But what about the other quarterback? What about the quarterback that Kevin O'Connell and company trusted to be quarterback 2, since they put Nick Mullins on injured reserve, and be the guy one play away from being that dude? What about him? What about the 5th-round pick that the Vikings selected out of BYU? What about Jaren friggin' Hall? And I do think that there's a lot to like about Jaren Hall. Also, I think that he's walking into a fantastic opportunity. And frankly, I don't think that the season is over. I think that the Vikings have enough firepower on both sides of the ball that Jaren Hall can be sort of a caretaker on offense, a little bit of Brock Purdy adjacent, and he can grow and show from there, because I think the kid has a lot of talent and potential, and we saw that during times in rookie camp, training camp, as well. Preseason was a bit of a mixed bag because of the whole, hey, he's with the second and third team offensive line and was constantly under duress, so sort of is what it is there. But let's talk about Jaren Hall today and why he can succeed as a Vikings QB1. Background: 25 years young, 6 foot 207, former 3-star recruit from Spanish Fork, Utah. Served a 2-year mission out of college, and then played 2 years on the BYU baseball team before taking over as BYU's quarterback in 2021. Take over from Zach Wilson, by the way. And in 2022, for the Cougars, had 3,171 yards passing, completed 66% of his throws, 86.3 PFF grade, also ran for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he's not necessarily a running quarterback, but he's a quarterback who can run. One of those guys. Then you getting into the combine, 4.62 40, good agility as well. Through at the combine and pro day, looked really good. And speaking of Brock Purdy, so Louis Riddick, former NFL executive, currently analyst on ESPN, he actually compared Jaren Hall to Brock Purdy. This is from the offseason. Quote, Jaren Hall is just one of those guys who you just know is going to do things the right way on and off the football field. He just needs to develop consistency, and once he's able to do that, I think this is one of those guys that can be a Brock Purdy type of guy. He has that kind of makeup. And Hall, he is mature. This is one of the spots where being a 25-year-old rookie could be an asset. He's got an alpha attitude. You saw that the way that he handled things at rookie camp. He was the true leader out there. Live arm, quick release, mobility, goes through progressions well, is consistently in the film room. He is a film junkie, workaholic, as well as he is a leader in that locker room, which is fantastic to see. And I don't necessarily think that the Vikings need to push all their chips in and go for Kyler, although could be kind of fun, or Tannehill, or Jimmy G per se. Yes, those are options, but option number 1 would be Jaren Hall works out, and he proves the rest of the season, half of the regular season as well as playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs. And he proves that he's the guy and is going to be the future franchise quarterback for the Vikings and take over from Kirk Cousins, which would be great. And he does have a lot of things going in his favor. Number 1, the maturity. So he's not some 21-year-old rookie coming in. He does have life experience. That does matter on the football field. He has intangibles. I don't think that he's going to get rattled. The moment's not going to be too big for him. You saw that in the Green Bay game. Although, the strip sack was sort of on Kevin O'Connell. Why are you calling just a straight-up drop on 3rd and 8? He's got that live arm. He is accurate. He is mobile, can make throws off-platform, can improvise as well, can make plays on schedule as well as off schedule. He knows what he doesn't know. And you could tell from what teammates have said about him at BYU, what some of his fellow rookies have said about him at camp, as well as him in interviews. He's humble. And he's always going to be learning. He doesn't come in to the NFL thinking that he reinvented the wheel. Best offensive tackle duo in the league in Darrisaw and O'Neal, as well as the offensive line. Really starting to get pretty solid, man. Plus, you're a couple weeks away from getting Justin friggin' Jefferson, the best non-quarterback in the league, back. Addison has proven that he's a fellow wide receiver 1. TJ is starting to come out into his own as one of the best tight ends in the game. And KJ is back to being 3rd down for what? Love it, man. Running game. Now, what's interesting is that So Wes Phillips and Kevin O'Connell are going to cater the offense to Jaren Hall's strengths. Now, what he has that Kirk doesn't is wheels, and the Vikings can run a lot more RPO concepts, and frankly, that could open up the running game as linebackers can't just crash down whenever they see that look and assume that the running back is going to get the ball, so they have to be a half step slower. That could open things up front. Flores, the defense is getting stingy, getting the ball back, limiting big-time plays, keeping the scores low, and that's greatly going to benefit Jaren Hall. Also, Kevin O'Connell drafted him, will cater to him. It's not like a Kellen Mond situation where they just inherited him from the previous regime, and they'll go from there. Also, Jaren Hall doesn't have to be him. He doesn't have to be a guy who's going to come in and win games because of. All he has to do, again, it's similar to Brock Purdy. Yes, Brock Purdy had the best defense in the league last year as well as had a great running game. Yes. But also, Brock Purdy didn't have JJ. Hawkinson's a little bit better than Kittle. Don't get me wrong. As well as the offensive line writ large is better than what San Francisco's had. And he doesn't have to be him. Just distribute the ball efficiently to your playmakers. Be accurate. Let them be them. And Kevin O'Connell will put you in spots where they're easy progressions, maybe half-field reads, maybe move the pocket, use his legs a little bit, and don't make the big-time mistake. And guess what? You'll put up points. Guess what? The defense will stop them and get some turnovers too. And I actually think that this freaking thing could work. And like I said, the best case scenario for the Vikings, outside of Tom Brady, come on. But the best case scenario would be Jaren Hall, rest of the season, proves that he is going to be the guy of the future, and the Vikings can use draft picks or other needs elsewhere. Or, Jaren Hall, maybe he's good, but maybe the Vikings also draft an insurance quarterback. I'm fine either way. Go from there. But season's far from dead. The Vikings 4-4, clawing their way back into this mother father, and then go from there, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Why Jaren Hall can succeed as a QB1 for the Vikings? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skull Production Value.